Hi, my name is Salandia Hammond, also known as Sueham, and I'm really excited about this next interview I have coming up with the mayor of Andrews, Frank McClary. Colonel McClary has been doing some amazing things in Andrews, but not only that, he has some amazing things on the horizon. Come with me as I take you behind the scenes for an up-close, one-on-one interview with Mayor Frank McClary.
Sueham Entertainment.
I've known you now, I think, for a little over 3 years.
Yes.
But for those who may be watching that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an average guy, first of all. This is my hometown, Andrews. I'm born and raised here, and a 1982 graduate of Andrews High School. Hello, my name is Frank McClary, the mayor of Andrews, South Carolina. And on November 5th, I am seeking re-election and looking for your support. The town of Andrews have made great strides in the last 4 years, and I'm looking for your support again to continue to move Andrews forward in the 21st century. Vote Frank McClary, Mayor of Andrews.
For those who may be watching that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an average guy, first of all. This is my hometown, Andrews. I'm born and raised here, and a 1982 graduate of Andrews High School. Went off from there into before then I went to Benedict College. Received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice.
Okay.
And from there I went into the military. And for the last 29 years...
Hold on, I gotta ask you, which branch? Which branch?
Army, of course, the oldest branch.
Okay.
Service, yes, absolutely. You're a Marine, right?
Yeah, I'm a Marine,
Okay.
but my father was Army, so you get a pass.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
So 29 years in?
Yes, I served as an infantryman, a couple of tours in combat, but most of my time was spent, running organizations, large organizations, doing the things that really what I'm doing now as a mayor, taking care of people, ensuring the quality of life and those kind of things, and running those organizations that was worth probably $100 million.
Wow.
So yeah.
So I have to ask you, with that extensive and I'm just going to say braggadocious experience, resume, why would you come back to Andrews? I mean, you were a full bird colonel.
Yes, ma'am.
You'd written your ticket. You could have become a CEO of a major corporation anywhere, but you decided to come back to Andrews, South Carolina.
Yes.
Why?
Well, over the years, again, I was away for 29 years, but I wasn't completely. I'd come back and visit my parents here, and we saw the decline of the town. We lost the Oneida Knitting Mill, which employed over 400, I think 500, people here. And so from that, things started to go down. And I was not okay with my hometown. I'm very much in love with Andrews.
Wow.
And I wanted to come back and help. Again, the military, taught us a lot, and I thought, I could bring some of my experience back here to help it grow again. And so that's where we are right now, 4 years later, just trying to move this town forward.
4 years later. Well, tell me, what are some of the things that you have done to help the town grow?
Well, coming in, you don't know all the challenges, so you have to do an analysis, and thank God we had a very smart administrator, and she's still here, Miss Dorsey, that helped you see that, what's going on, what needs to happen. So after the analyzing, then you have to figure out, we have to do the important things first. So we look at those critical things as providing a service to the people, protection, water and sewer, those things, and so we had to fix that first. So we had some challenges in terms of finance.
Right.
Wasn't where it needed to be, and you can't do anything if you don't have your money right.
So what about the, because I know you guys had issue with flooding, public services. What are some of the things that you've done to come in and fix that? Working with the community itself, youth departments?
Yeah, well, back in 2014, the town was issued an consent order from DHEC because we did not maintain our water and sewer system over time. Well, with 3 major storms during that same time, these last 3 years, it posed a challenge for us on our system. It overwhelmed our system. So we had to, of course, comply with DHEC and get those things straight. So that was our primary focus, is to get the infrastructure. And so then with the limited funds we had and what we got through our state, the grants, we're able now to get those systems and begin to now repair them and replace them with new equipment.
So tell me, as far as the building that we're seated in, I know it's a building that has a little bit of age to it.
Yes.
What are your plans as far as maybe rehabbing this building or maybe even getting a new building?
Yes, it has been repurposed several times. It used to be a school.
No way.
Then yes, it was a school here back in the early 1900s, and then became the DMV. This is, in fact, in this office is where I got my license, and that's the administrative building for the town, and it has seen its use, and it's so the idea now. And well, let me back up. We're now getting in new buildings for the fire department and for the police department, and so we're looking at ways now to try to preserve this a little bit longer, and then but it's a safety concern, and so we're doing some things and trying to maximize the resources we have to get the administrative building as part of this overall public safety complex. And so we look at those things. It's going to take some time and more resources, but the plan is in place to do that.
And how do you plan to get some of those resources for the infrastructures? Are you looking at grants, loans?
Loans, grants, and our local, general funds we can use for those type of things. But at this point in time, we've received over $2 million in grants from the state to get after some of the challenges we have with our infrastructure, our water and sewer pipelines. And it's just making better decisions, best business practices, those kind of things that help us now place our money into the right places. So those are the kind of things we're leveraging, but it's a day-to-day management, and so far right now it's working very well.
A lot of times in small communities, especially in communities that are being revived, such as Andrews, people are concerned about economic development. Can you just briefly go into what your ideas are for economic development for Andrews?
Well, it's pretty broad, and I think when you talk economic development, people look at just businesses.
Right, that's so true.
But it's a lot more that goes into it in terms of the setup and in getting some confidence in the market. So again, some of our challenges were, our streets and dilapidated buildings, our finances, just confidence that the government's going to do the right thing. So I think some of the things we've done so far right now has now placed some confidence in investors, business owners, because now we have Burger King that's coming to town. We have a Pepsi-Cola distribution company that's here.
Amazing.
TSP, which is a distribution company for cabinets, and perhaps one of their best performing company that's here in Andrews. And it has occupied our old Oneida, one of their warehouses there. And so those things are coming, but again, it took some convincing. And again, for us, the government doing the right things for those folks to come in. One of the things we're going to have to improve in is our workforce, and so getting those folks prepared to go into these jobs is the challenge, because right now we know there's 63,000 jobs in South Carolina that's not filled.
And it's a perfect segue into the workforce, because I really believe that in order to get people prepared for the workforce, we have to first get them prepared educationally in the school system.
Absolutely.
How have you, in your term, reached out to the community and connected with the youth? I mean, what type of activities, programs have you either enhanced or either created for the youth?
So we're talking workforce, and we're talking about the youth activities.
Yes.
So again, multiple things going on at once for our youth. We realize that we don't have the social piece of things that are in place here in Andrews in terms of they can come out and do things after school. So we took one of our buildings and I had it renovated, and so it's now in our youth center, which is out 30 East Main Street. And there's a couple of young ladies that are running this thing along with some other folks that are taking advantage of this building. And there they can go, face painting, you name it. This building is open for youth activities. We've also done that, and now it's one of our places where we will now have our CNA course. So we've partnered with Georgetown Horry County Tech College, where we will now have the CNA course and the CMT course taught here.
All right.
On that very same building. So again, getting after this challenge with the workforce and development,
Yes.
we understand that the education is the key.
It is.
Teaching a trade, not necessarily going to 4-year school, is important. And so we're taking advantage of that. We're teaching economic development courses here, entrepreneurs. We focus on all those things to empower our people to become independent.
It's so great to hear you say that, because I know the old way of thinking was you had to go and get a degree.
Right.
And it's especially great to hear that coming from you, that knowing that you have a bachelor's and a master's,
Yes.
that trade schools are just as important, if not more important, in this day and age with regards to economic development and getting into the workforce. What a lot of people don't know or either don't understand is that sometimes plumbers make more than managers on jobs, and you're always going to need an electrician.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So
that's great to hear that you are a big proponent of that. Talk to me about the Andrews Heritage Festival.
Oh, wow. Okay, again, and you talk about community, you have to have these special events that we identify with, and again, it's an opportunity to bring people out, and so they can interact and get to know each other, and love thy neighbor. And this is a place that you can come out and love your neighbor and have a good time. Well, the Andrews Heritage Festival, which is a primary replacement for the good old days used to have back when Chubby Checker would come, and all it was a huge thing for us.
And he is from Andrews, right?
From
Chubby
Andrews.
Checker,
Yeah. And so he was here recently in July, I think it was. We spent some time with him. But that was then. And for a while, they didn't have one. So about 5 years ago, just before I came in, we had our first Andrews Heritage Festival. And now it's at a point where we had probably over 800 kids that came out and families. Now we're having it on Main Street. You have rides, big rib cook-off, and it was just a blessing. We just had it on the 27th, 28th.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. That's
I enjoyed it.
That's
Listen, can I tell you what I really, really enjoyed about it the most? Is that everybody was having a great time, and it was like diverse crowd.
Yes.
I'm talking with with gender, with age, with race. It was just a diverse crowd, and everybody was just rubbing elbows and enjoying themselves. And I'm a big firm believer that in the community we need events like that to show that we are one.
Absolutely.
And in order to change things, we have to become one because we can go further together.
Yes.
You agree?
And absolutely. And you can see that's growing, and it spills over into the other events we have. I mean, just recently we had a high school homecoming parade, and it seemed like we had just as many people out there, enjoying it. So I'm getting the feel now that the community is starting to realize that we have to come together.
Yeah.
And hopefully our leadership here, this administration, that is kind of contributing to that. Because I believe you can do so much more when you come together as opposed to working as individuals.
Absolutely. And one of the things I like to remind people is that things don't change overnight.
No.
When you see a situation go from good to bad, it didn't happen overnight.
Yes.
When you see a situation go from bad to good and then to great, again, it doesn't happen overnight. And I will say that under your leadership, with you and your staff, things have definitely been progressing to good. And I see nothing but great things on the horizon for Andrews under your leadership.
Thank you. Yeah, we've come a long way. We've had about 20 years of decline in all facets,
Yes.
to include relationship. And again, it takes new creative ideas, new leadership, new thinking to be a part of that. And it's not just me. Again, we have a small staff, but they're very engaged. And now, but more importantly, we have our citizens coming to be a part of it. They're running programs. We have a block party for our Halloween, trick or treat that's ran by one of our business owners, and so those things are happening. And when this town continues to do that, when continue to come together, you will see it take off and go in a different direction.
Inclusivity.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about. People want to be a part of something, and what I believe you empower people when you make them a part of that change.
Absolutely, you have
Definitely.
to.
So listen, what's next then? What's next for you?
Oh wow, for me,
what's next for Andrews?
Well, for
you
Andrews, of course, in a re-election, frame time of the year, so that's we want to keep this going. So I'm going to run again. That's obvious. For us, now that we have our financial, footing, for lack of a better term, we're there. Just recently reported that we're in good standing. The town is in the black, so that is a positive thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the next step now is again to continue with the educational part of this. Continue to promote Andrews, because Andrews sits in a location that is on 2 counties, Georgetown and Williamsburg. 2 major highways, just as an hour away from Myrtle Beach and Charleston. So, and we have plenty of warehouses here. So we're trying to make Andrews a signature place for distribution hub. So we can leverage, just like Pepsi and TSP has done. So we want to continue to invite and be prepared for industry, because again, Charleston is busting at the seams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you have to go somewhere.
Absolutely.
We have an airport here.
Oh.
We have one of 2 skydiving schools that are in Andrews.
No way.
Oh, absolutely.
I had no idea.
Yes, right here. And they're developing a nature walk park just 2 miles outside the city. So we have the attraction. We want to make Andrews a destination, not just a throughway.
Now, how do you see affordable housing in that equation?
Yes, that's another big part of us. So affordable housing, again, we have 13 mobile homes. There's nothing wrong with a mobile home, but I think in many of the cases we have here, they're not suitable for my citizens. And so we're embarking now on an initiative to bring affordable homes here. We're not talking just HUD. We're not talking HUD. We're talking about homes that you can own.
Oh wow.
We're talking you becoming a homeowner. We're talking about repairing your credit and all those things that make you eligible for a home that's in the range of $130,000, $150,000. And in fact, 5 are being built right now.
That's fascinating.
And yes, and so we want them in their homes because you're paying $1,200-1,300 for a place that you never own.
Right.
You can now put that into your own home and become a homeowner and get your tax breaks, all those things that comes with being a homeowner.
That's very fascinating.
Yes.
And for me, that's groundbreaking, especially
Yes.
being in a rural area, because just the things that you want to implement, the things that you have implemented, the things that you are teaching, that's not taught usually in, and I'm going to use the air quotes, low income area.
Right.
And it's for a reason, you know. So just to know that you have an innovative mind, an innovative staff that really care about the community,
Yes.
and you're actually implementing things to move us forward. I got it.
Thank you. Thank
You know, that's amazing to me.
But that's what it takes.
Yes.
You have to empower the people.
You have to.
Because a lot of your citizens that go off to school never come back. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have the jobs here, then you're in this low to moderate income area. You got to figure out ways to get it done.
Absolutely.
And not rely just on help, but you can do it on your own. But we have to help you.
That's
And
it.
that's why we're here.
That's it. You know, I believe in saving yourself.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson has this song that says, you got to start with the man in the mirror.
Yes.
I change it and say with the person in the mirror. That's where the
Yes.
change begins.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I know that a lot of the change that's occurring, it's because of your leadership that you learned in the military. Because one of the things about the military is they teach you, hey, you adapt and overcome.
Yes.
You get the mission accomplished no matter what.
Yes.
And so often I see in today's world where people run up against a brick wall, and that's it. They throw their hands up and they surrender.
Right.
And one of the great things about the military is they teach you to either run through that wall, tear that wall down, or go around that wall.
Absolutely.
So I thank you for everything that you're doing. And Andrews, anything you want to share before we end this interview?
No, it's just that I see Andrews again being one of the best little small towns in South Carolina.
Yeah.
The potential is here. It's not talk. We're starting to see it now.
Yeah.
We have to continue to do the things that we're doing and improve. Again, we will focus on beautifying our streets. We will focus on the dilapidated buildings. But we have to come together. We have to be, the pride that the town requires, the individual, and our business owners, and our government, it all has to come together to move the town forward. And I see it there. It's too easy.
You know, you just when you were saying that, all I could think about was so often we want to beautify the external,
Yes.
without taking care of the internal. So basically, we got to break down those barriers of the mindset first.
Yes.
And then we can take care of everything on the outside. So I love how you you harp on the community and the
Yes.
relationship building, and everything else will take care of itself.
And a good point you just made is that the things that are the intangibles, you just have to look. You have to fix on the inside.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to.
Absolutely.
And we were broken financially. People have lost confidence in us. We're part of the county now. Both counties. We're equal partners now, and so we're going to do our part. We will establish a better relationship with the supervisor in Williamsburg County. Again, I know she has her hands full, but we share responsibility because we have citizens on both sides there.
That is true. That's
Citizens
true.
of Andrews, but of Williamsburg County.
Yes.
And so one thing that concerns me is the medical and the public safety piece of it. So we can't have a division. We can't have lines when it can come down to taking care of people.
Right.
So we'll continue to build those relationships on both sides.
Yeah.
Leverage the state, and do what we're supposed to do at this level. And Andrews is going to be one of the best towns in the state.
I believe that.
For long.
I believe that because you know why? You are here.
Well, thank you so
I
much.
believe in you. From the first day I met you, I just knew there was something special about you. And like I said, I've been watching you, tracking you, your progress and everything. And you definitely have a heart for Andrews, because like I said when we started this interview, you definitely don't have to be here. I mean, you could be leading some major corporation if you wanted to, or maybe vacationing in Hawaii, I don't know.
That would be nice.
But the fact of the matter is you're here.
Yes.
And not only are you here, you're actively participating in your community. Last words about re-election. Anything you want to say to maybe persuade some voters to...
Well, I want to encourage them, if they don't know, give me a call and I'll inform them what's going on. A lot of times I think we rely on Facebook or somebody else to tell you what's going on. But as you said, I am dedicated to the town. I know that there's some that may not see what's going on, but we invite them in or give me a call. because this is not the time to change leadership or to go back to where we were before. They have two options right now. I am their best choice. I was not here when things went south, but I'm here to make sure we move forward into the 21st century. And we're going to do that. But we can't change leadership in midstream. So vote McClary on November 5th.
Well said. Well said. Well, you heard it, folks. Vote Mayor McClary on November 5th. Thank you so much for this
Thank you
interview.
for your time.
Appreciate it. Wow. What an amazing interview. An amazing man with an amazing plan. Mayor Frank McClary. He has a vision, and he has a team in place to execute that vision. I don't know about you, but I totally support him 100% for re-election. Please, I hope that you'll join me in that support. Let Mayor Frank McClary complete the vision he has for the town of Andrews. Get out and vote on November 5th. Frank McClary, your mayor.
My name is Frank McClary, the mayor of Andrews, a man of dignity, honor, and respect.